Yeah, you did, but let's back up and take it one step further. How many of you have ever actually flown? Do you actually know what a slide is? Do you know what he's actually talking about? Explain that every aircraft's equipped with these slides and how many there are and why they're there.
Okay, this is going to be the second phase.
Okay.
I understand. I'm going to kick back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Right.
How many of them even know?
Correct. Correct.
Did he introduce himself, say his name?
No,
No, because this is already into the program itself.
You can just pick up on that.
Okay.
Okay.
So as a result of our Monitor and Challenge program, I just want to kind of bring it, just ask you all a question. Okay. How many of you know what the slide is, or what the function of the slide is? You've been on an airplanes before, right? Okay. So do you know what the slide does, what the purpose of the emergency evacuation slide is? No? Well, okay, I'll explain to you. Every aircraft in the fleet that you're going to be working on, from the 747s all the way down to the 767s, to the DC-9, to the Airbuses, every aircraft has an emergency evacuation slide in the doors and also over the wings. So when the aircraft is on the ground, or you've seen the situation where it happened with the U.S. Air in the Hudson River, emergency arose, they opened the doors and the slides deployed. Okay? It's the same premise here. Now, with that being said, we have to make sure that we do not go through and accidentally open the door when the slide is in arm position, because when that flight leaves, pushes away from the gate, the flight attendants arm the doors. By meaning arm the doors, they push a lever from a disarm position to the arm position. And upon arrival to their destination, they disarm the door, meaning when the door is open from the inside, the slide will not engage and deploy. Now, there are situations at times that someone might forget, someone might accidentally engage the slide while the aircraft's been on the ground for X amount of hours. So people assume, employees assume, it could be our employees, it could be other employees, that the aircraft door is disarmed and the slide will not deploy. Well, unfortunately, when that happens, when you start assuming things, bad things happen. So that's why we have the Monitor and Challenge. It takes two. You always work as a team. It takes two employees trained and identified by a red badge or a black badge to ensure that they will disarm that door, or the door is disarmed. Just envision, if that slide is deployed, if you all have seen, for example, on TV or in videos, airbags, how they deploy, how fast they deploy, and the force behind it. It's the same situation here. That slide, when it's deployed, it deploys in a matter of seconds, because it's time critical for those passengers, in case of emergency, to evacuate that aircraft. So when that slide is deployed, it could be sitting at the gate, it could be at the hangars. And if someone is below and that slide is deployed, you're talking about a tremendous amount of weight that is falling while it's deploying, and it could injure that individual below or possibly even occur death. So it's a dangerous environment that we all collectively work at, but also as relative to the process and how this slide is deployed and the consequences of deploying that slide when there's not an emergency are tremendous. It takes $25,000 to repack that slide and put it back on that aircraft. It could go up as high as $50,000. When you have to, the aircraft is grounded, a new slide has to be put in that door, depending on the size of the aircraft. Is the slide in the station? The passengers have to be rebooked. The flight attendants, the pilots, they're missing their destination, their connections, not to mention the passengers. They're traveling probably all over the world. Now the airline is responsible for rebooking those passengers. For every minute that aircraft is out of service, or every hour it's out of service, it's costing the airline millions of dollars. So just envision, Okay? $25,000 to $50,000, how quickly that money goes. But mostly, the consequences of someone getting hurt, and heaven forbid, someone getting injured to a point where it's going to cost their life. Does anyone have any questions so far about the slides? Okay. They're deployed at the doors. Depending on the type of aircraft it is, the 747 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6. There's even a door up there, which I never use. But these doors here, there's 5 doors, 5 on the left side and 5 on the right side. The smaller the aircraft, the less amount of doors. There would be no reason for you to open a door from the inside. Okay? Yes, sir.
What happens if the doors are ajar and I open? Will the slide deploy?
If the door is already cracked open, okay. If it's already cracked open, that means it's been disengaged. Because if it's open even a little bit, that someone's already opened that door and it's good to go. If in doubt, if ever in doubt, okay, always ask your lead or your supervisor, or if there's a mechanic, ask a mechanic. If you're unsure, don't push that door open. Ask. If someone asks you to open the door and you're not trained to open the door, okay, refuse to do it. Don't lose your job over the process because you want to help a friend out. Everyone knows what the process and procedure is about opening doors. It takes 2, okay? Please remember, do not open the doors unless you've been trained, okay? Yes, sir.
Okay, if the door's already open, like you were saying, so we have the right to open the door all the way. We don't have to have 2 people then.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. But ensure, if ever in doubt, because sometimes the door will be open, but if it's in the locked position and it's not cracked open, do not open the door. But I don't want to diminish the aspect of uncertainty. If you're not sure, then ask.
Now, can the door be opened or armed?
Not if it's cracked open, no. It has to be fully closed and the lever in the arm position. And when you get to a point where you're going to be trained to be a monitor and a challenger, you will see as to how the mechanics work of it. When it's in this arm position, there's a pin that goes in there with a red flag on there. It'll show disarmed. So we have a process in place, a training process, that if you do become a monitor and a challenger, you will see the videos of each type of aircraft that you have exposure to as respective to the carrier that you're going to be working for. And also you'll do the hands-on to make sure that you're proficient and you know exactly what needs to be done and how it operates. You know the difference between a DC-9, how that setup is, and the setup on an Airbus, an A330 or A320, and a 747, how the doors open. All that information will be given to you once you're trained. Training is critical. You're working in a dangerous environment. Environment is you're going to be working in. There's a lot of activity going on, a lot of personnel, a lot of equipment. You always be aware of your surroundings. Never assume that it's okay. If in doubt, ask. Okay. Any other questions? There's no reason for you, and let's just open the door on a DC-9 from the outside. To open a door from the outside, if you're a driver, you will be trained to know what to look for and how to open a door from the outside. Because the door, if it's open from the outside, it does disengage the arming mechanism. Except for not all the aircraft, and you will be shown which ones do not fall into that category. That's why we have an intensive training program. You'll be on that aircraft, you'll see the video, you'll be with a trainer to making sure that there's full understanding and any questions that an employee might have before we actually let them go on their own as relative to be a driver and open the door from the outside.
Who gets trained?
Who gets trained?
Yeah. Anybody or?
Well, the individuals that are going to be operating the trucks. The leads get trained, the supervisors get trained, the managers get trained. It really is discretion of the manager who they feel should be trained in that capacity. It doesn't necessarily mean, as a monitor and challenger, that you're going to be, if you're a cabin service cleaner and not a lead or a supervisor, doesn't mean you're not able to perform this function. You just have to go through a training process. And quarterly, we will go through a recertification every 3 months, every employee, depending on their status, monitor and challenger or non-monitor and challenge. We'll go through and review the process once again with you. Aside from the daily briefings that you're going to receive. You're going to receive briefings, you're probably going to get tired of hearing us. You're probably going to say, not again, the same stuff over and over. Well, it's very, very important. The consequences are tremendous. To yourself, to your coworkers, to us as a company, and to the airline that we're working for. Always use caution. Focus on safety. Safety is number one here. Okay? You are important to us. You're important to your families. Focus on safety. Okay? You always have the right to say no when you feel that something is unsafe. As relative to this, if the GM tells you, or the CEO of the company tells you, or a lead tells you, hey, open that door, and you know it takes two, and you're not certified to do that, you say no. Say no. Okay?
Well, what if the challenger opens the door when the monitor didn't give the okay?
Then obviously the individual who, the monitor, if the operator opens the door without the approval, then the monitor, the door opener is culpable for his or her actions. Okay? We're entrusting you to follow the training protocol that's been established here. Okay? We're not asking you to run independently. It takes two. Okay? Consider it as a marriage. Okay? It takes two. Relying on one another to make sure that we're all working safely. What you think?
I think you're hired.
Much better the
Nice
second
job.
time. Good job.
It's always better the second time around. Your last page. The last page is an acknowledgement. And for all of you, you're all new hires. The last page it says, you never open the door, aircraft door initial. And this is the initial. So I'm there, you acknowledge it. Put your initials on it. You're acknowledging the fact that you were in this training class, that we went through the training process, that you understand the consequences of not following through on not opening the door without authorization. Okay? When you open the door unauthorized, the consequences are that you will be terminated from employment. You understand that you will not open the door.
What's the date today?
And then the top 3 pages are yours as a refresher. The last page where you sign your name or put your badge number. Today is the 5th. DTW, David Tom William. That's the station, David Tom William. And I'd like for you just to remove the last page. Once you sign it, put your name, you work for Prospect Airport Services, then pass on, and we will put it in your personnel file. And in 3 months from today, we will go through the same process. We'll review the process with you. You can understand as to the monitoring challenge, it takes 2 individuals to open that door. And failure to follow procedures will cost you your job. Does anyone have any questions?
Nope, he didn't.
The back.
No, that's what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Almost
So right
ready.
by that door,
start
Jimmy,
again.
just.
Okay, ready? And anytime.
Well, let me give you the paperwork first.
Paperwork.
No, just go back again.
That's my termination.
He
already knows he's
You don't know if you can yet. All right, let's come on. All right. Okay, walk away. Get out of here. I'm gonna redo it. Redo it. Don't shake your, don't put your hand out. Here. Where's
Stand
that?
up.
Okay.
Stand
Come
up.
on towards me. Okay. Give me your badge. Okay, now you can walk away. There you go. Good riddance. Okay?
Could at least
Is that
give mine
okay?
instead of talking
Nice
to
job.
Terry.
All right. Is that okay? Do next.
Paul, let me know when you're ready.
I'm rolling.
Hang on, not quite yet. Can you go out one more time? I wasn't
One more
rolling
time.
yet.
It wasn't rolling yet.
Okay, anytime now. Okay, great. We'll just let it roll and have the next victim get fired.
Darlene,
Oh, if it was for real.
got your badge ready? All right.
Dreaming man.
Okay.
I'm rolling,
for
are you,
real.
Paul?
Put it in your
Yep.
pocket. Put it in your pocket. There you go. Okay. Ready? Need your badge. Thank you very much.
Great, okay, I'm good. Next one? Need to fire somebody else.
All right, next.
Trade you. All righty. Next. Good to go? Okay. Don't show me the badge yet.
Nice job, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. Next, volunteer.
almost like teachers in Dallas, who just firing people out. Okay, anytime. Okay.
Might have to stand up to take yours, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you. Didn't think you had this much fun, did you?
That's okay.
Oh, it's
Better than
okay.
sitting at home, I guess.
See?
I know. I hate my home.
Could be in bed right now.
That's it, right?
Okay, we fired everybody.
Good.